Today, more people have smartphones than indoor plumbing. With a simple swipe, an entire universe of information opens. Entertainment, shopping, banking, social media, maps, emails, and more. But what seems instant and effortless is only a fraction of the vast sea of data we consume daily. Government, finance, retail, healthcare, transportation, manufacturing, and now AI, all fueling an insatiable demand for more, faster, always accessible data. But at what cost? Behind every swipe, click, share, and download, there is a hidden price. The digital world thrives on an unseen force: data centers, the backbone of modern connectivity. And like any machine running at full speed, they require enormous amounts of energy and water to keep information flowing. The question isn't how to slow the demand, it's how to sustain it.
Every email, video, and AI query lives on servers in giant warehouses, and those servers run hot. In 2020, U.S. data centers consumed roughly 660 billion liters of water for cooling and power generation. Much of that water simply evaporates into the air, used up in the process of keeping computers cool. In a world where water is growing scarce, that approach is becoming unsustainable.
So, most of the data centers that I've seen, they use water as a cooling method. The amount of water that they use over the course of a year, depending on the size of the data center, could be 150, 200 million gallons per year. But the way NOVVA has approached it is by using glycol. And with this, they save a ton of water. I mean, millions and millions of gallons per year. And you take a location that's in the desert, for example, like Las Vegas, that could be going through a drought or more susceptible to droughts. It is essential for them to use a different method.
In the arid American West, water is more precious than ever. Cooling a large data center can evaporate millions of gallons each year. One company dared to ask, what if a data center could run in a desert without consuming water?
NOVVA is a data center that started about 4 years ago and has started to grow exponentially. We are currently building out 2 other buildings on the east and the west side of the headquarters. We also have a building going up in Reno, Nevada. We also have one down in Vegas, Las Vegas, and we have another one in Colorado Springs. So far, that's where we focused, is out kind of in the west, drier climates. So NOVVA, I think, is mostly unique in the fact of the way they cool the space. They moved away from the evaporative cooling on the water-cooled chillers, went to straight air-cooled chillers, which eliminates the waste of water.
Headquartered in Utah's high desert, NOVVA set out to cool thousands of servers without wasting a single drop of water.
We are a colocation data center. As Jeff explained, a colocation data center is basically an apartment complex for companies who need solutions for their data. We provide the furniture, so to speak, the power, the cooling, and then they bring their equipment.
Customers come in and rent a space, and Scott has kind of explained it as an apartment building where you just rent your space from the apartment building, which made it click a little easier.
NOVVA's sealed glycol loop absorbs heat from the servers, then massive air-cooled condensers push that heat into the atmosphere. No evaporation, no water lost.
There is no water that is lost in that process. Everything is what they call a sealed system, a contained system. So that glycol is always there, never evaporates, never needs to be replaced. We have written all of our own programs. We control the fan speeds to speed up or slow down the airflow across the coils. That actually does work and is very energy efficient because we're able to run our fans at a lower speed, lower amperage.
We pull that in under the floor, across our concrete slab floor, up through our fan wall galleries, through our coils. The need for the cooling is to maintain that server space, to make sure there's not overheating.
Innovation is nothing without reliability. NOVVA's heart is an industrial-grade control system built on Phoenix Contact technology.
We control our whole system with the Phoenix Contact ILC 2050s. They are the main brain which ties all of our systems in to each other. That's where we write all of our global programming so that we can take all of the values from all the different systems, the electrical, the heating and air side of everything, all the different protocols. We're talking Modbus RTU, Modbus TCP, BACnet IP, BACnet MSTP, and with it all coming into that ILC, it just melds together so it doesn't matter what protocol it is actually talking. It all becomes just the same plane. Phoenix Contact came into an option mostly because I had interacted with the people at the company, really liked the product, really liked the people, really liked the support. The product offerings that they have is, I think they've got 6 million part numbers. You can get anything, really.
I've worked with our local reps. I've reached out for some information. Customer service has been second to none. I get responses same day. It's been a real pleasure to work with Phoenix Contact.
Inside NOVVA, security is as advanced as the cooling.
The security that data centers have is a very high level of security. There's the cameras everywhere, there's audibles, there's the man traps. NOVVA has the Boston Dynamics dogs, we call them the Sphinxes. On the side of the power and cooling, everything is set up as kind of an N+1. So you always have a redundant piece of equipment. So if you need one chiller, you're gonna have two. Once a data center is turned on, you never can turn it off. It has to stay on all the time. And that kind of resonated with me and kind of was a reality check of the importance of keeping the power on.
I would say from the security standpoint, we have our two-factor authentication throughout the site, where through our man traps, we are letting only one person go through at a time.
Redundant systems and green energy purchases mean NOVVA can promise 99.999% uptime while shrinking its environmental footprint.
NOVVA is unique in that they allow us to think outside of the box. It lets us create our own chillers. It lets us create our own fan walls.
This is almost a living, breathing thing that we're creating. And having these experts is a need to work together as a team so that we can make it run as efficiently as possible.
Outside of security, there are a lot of different, as I mentioned, key processes that go on all at the same time within a data center. One of the key things that a data center cannot go without is power. The very next thing would be the HVAC systems.
Our thirst for data isn't slowing down. By 2030, data center water and energy use could double if industry practices don't change. NOVVA shows they can. Together with partners like Phoenix Contact, they are proving our digital future can be both innovative and sustainable. So the next time you swipe, tap, or click, remember places like NOVVA, where people and technology work around the clock to keep our connected world online, secure, and green. Innovation quenches an insatiable thirst and builds a brighter future for us all.